Every time that Pokemon leaks or rumors are discussed, it seems like a Johto Let's Go game is tossed in there. And while we've yet to see one announced, it feels like the Let's Go games could become a series. After all, they sold about as well as Legends Arceus did, and that just got a sequel announced. So let's pretend that Let's Go does become a series, and not only do we get Johto Let's Go games, but Let's Go games for every region in the series. Who would be the two Pokemon, aka the Pikachu and the Eevee, for all 9 other regions? What are the criteria for being a Let's Go starter Pokemon? Well, for a start, what made Pikachu and Eevee good fits? To me, there are two main factors. They are cute Pokemon, and they are mascots for the series already. So our task is to find 2 cute Pokemon per region that have that mascot potential. I want to throw on a couple of other rules too. I liked that Pikachu and Eevee normally have evolutions, but they don't evolve in their games. They instead gave these pre-evolutions better stats and broken moves, which is a fun dynamic to me. So all of our choices must also be first stage Pokemon, which would be boosted in their Let's Go games. Also, I'm challenging myself to represent as many of the 18 types as I can by the end of this list, just for some variety in the Let's Go series starters. And those are the criteria. Let's start on our Let's Go journey with Johto. Oh, super quick before we start, isn't the thumbnail for this video just awesome? I certainly think so. I commissioned this watercolor from an artist named Alina, who is super talented and great to work with. I've linked her Twitter below. I really encourage you to check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Anyway, back to the video. For the Let's Go Johto games, we have a good pool of potential candidates. Our honorable mentions are Sentret, Marill, Swinub, Mareep, and Phanpy. Honestly, an awesome bunch of runners-up. I personally think that Swinub would be really funny to try to imbue with a bunch of different emotions. Our winners though are Togepi and Wooper, 2 Pokemon that embody everything a Let's Go cover Pokemon needs. Small, cute, funny to imagine overpowered as a partner Pokemon. I personally think seeing Togepi roll through an Elite Four team would be hilarious. These are also fairly safe picks. They both already have plenty of admirers, and Togepi got plenty of screen time in the anime. Solid picks for Johto, Let's Go Togepi and Let's Go Wooper cross off Fairy, Water, and Ground types. I formally predict that the Hoenn Let's Go games will have a surfing minigame. After all, there is a lot of water. Honorable mentions for Hoenn are Seedot, Skitty, Aaron, Gulpin, and Duskull. I was most intrigued by Duskull, as I think it has some under-the-radar mascot-y potential if given the chance to shine, but then I remembered that it loves the sound of crying children, and I decided against. Our 2 winners for Hoenn are Shroomish and Spheal. Spheal is a shoo-in, right? Even in Legends Arceus, we were all charmed by the Spheals rolling around on the beach. It's an eminently adorable Pokemon that would make a great mascot. Shroomish is the less obvious pick, but I think that watching it toddle behind you would be hilarious, and that it pairs nicely with Spheal when it comes to their round forms. Imagine both of them with balloons tied to them for the Fly HM equivalent. Too good. Let's Go Spheal and Let's Go Shroomish tick off ice and grass types on our list too. Sinnoh had my smallest pool of available candidates by a good margin, but the few contenders they did have were solid picks. Honorable mentions are Budew, Cherubi, and Shellos. Shellos felt like a surefire pick, but I veered away at the last second for a pick that was a little more off the wall. Our winners for the Sinnoh Let's Go games are Bidoof, obviously, and Gible. Bidoof was one of my first picks on this whole list. It has a prominent place in the general Pokemon cultural milieu, and would be a hit as a cover Pokemon, I'm sure. Gible was the more unusual pick, but I think that it hits on a cute dragon-type vibe that we're not going to find any other place on this list. It's the perfect blend of funny and fierce, especially with those stubby little arms. Let's Go Bidoof and Let's Go Gible check off just the dragon type. Unova may have gotten passed over in the latest Pokemon Presents, but it has the Let's Go starters that I may be the most excited about. First, honorable mentions: Zorua, Deerling, Litwick, Pawniard, Rufflet, and Munna. This was a tough group to turn down. Zorua not being on the cover feels like a huge upset, and Litwick and Munna were some of my favorite unusual picks across the board. But our winners are Darumaka and Joltik. Joltik is a fan favorite, as it nails the cute requirement, but it would be hard to have it express the wide array of emotions you need for this job. Still, I'd love to see how you can make it happen. Darumaka hits on the funny note for me, and might be my favorite pick on the whole list. Who wouldn't want this little guy to be your partner Pokemon? Let's go Joltik and let's go Darumaka, knock out Bug and Fire. Kalos, the 2025 recipient of the newest Legends game, will probably have to wait a long while for its Let's Go debut. But while they wait, I can give my predictions. Honorable mentions are Litleo, Flabebe, Skiddo, Skrelp, Helioptile, Amara, and Pumpkaboo. Weird list, right? Skiddo was probably the closest to making it, but in general, Kalos had one of the weaker bunches of candidates. My winners for Kalos are Pancham and Inkay, and let me just say, I would be thrilled to see these be the two starters in reality. Two unusual picks, but I think they both tick off a lot of boxes. Pancham has a great snarky personality to it that I think would fit well as a Let's Go starter. And Inkay has a cool starter typing and checks off the cute requirement easily. Let's Go Pancham and Let's Go Inkay give us the fighting, dark, and psychic typings. Alola is up next, and they are another weak bunch. Just look at the honorable mentions: Fomantis, Bounsweet, Sandygast, and Jangmo-o. Bounsweet would be a great choice, but the other ones just miss out on that mascot-y brand of cuteness that Pokemon really likes. The winners are Rockruff and Alolan Vulpix. Rockruff is a gimme. You can already see the story forming where Kukui either gives you his Rockruff to train or has another one on hand. Alolan Vulpix is the more interesting one, and my first little bending of the rules that I had in my head. I wouldn't normally pick a Pokemon that's a regional variant of a Gen 1 Mon, but Alolan Vulpix just feels too right as the choice here to ignore. It's cute, it's popular, it honestly feels very similar to how Eevee is as a mascot. So for that, it gets the edge on the other contenders. But I imagine it would be called Let's Go Vulpix, not Let's Go Alolan Vulpix. Too long. Rockruff and Vulpix only check off the rock type. Galar has some easy selections that I actually will be shying away from. Honorable mentions are Yamper, Toxel, Milcery, Cufant, Sinistea, Snom, and Dreepy. Yamper and Toxel feel like gimmies to be Let's Go starters, and Snom is super popular, but they didn't feel quite right. Dreepy was almost a pick of mine too, but the winners are Wooloo and Hatenna. Wooloo is the safe pick, and I think it would be a killer Let's Go starter. Round and fluffy. It's a winning formula. Hatenna is the more controversial pick, but I just think it would be funny. It's a design with a lot of personality in spite of no visible eyes, and I think that would make for a cool Let's Go starter Pokemon. Plus, you could do something funny with its Pokédex entry saying that it picks up emotions from other people. Just an idea. Let's Go Wooloo. Man, that even sounds like a real game when you say it. And Let's Go Hatenna, check off no new types. Hisui is our penultimate region to bestow starters upon, and this one is a complete layup for me. There are very few Hisui-specific Pokemon that meet the brief to be Let's Go starters. The honorable mentions are Quillfish, Basculin, Voltorb, and Sneasel, and none of these really feel right. But lucky for me, there are two perfect candidates. Hisui and Zorua and Growlithe are our two starters, and I dare say they might be two of like the 5 best starter candidates across the board. They're cute and popular, and they just plain look the part. Plus, redemption for Zorua not making it in Unova. See, I was gonna tie it back around eventually. Let's Go Growlithe and Let's Go Zorua check off the ghost typing for us. Paldea is the final region for this list. Honorable mentions are Lechonk, Pawmi, Toedscool, Flittle, and Citadel. Lechonk and Pawmi were too obvious, and don't really do it for me as mascots if I'm being honest. Toedscool would be the funny pick. Flittle was too annoying in the actual game to get the nod. Our winners are Fido and Smoliv, two fairly safe picks. Fido is cute, but Smoliv really takes the cake here. Having a scared little Olive as your partner for a game would be so funny, and I think it fits the vibe of the Let's Go games really well. Overall, I think Let's Go Fido, nice rhyme, and Let's Go Smoliv are some banger games to end on. They don't check off any new types though. As you can see, we almost hit all of the types, but missed out in the end on Poison, Steel, and Flying. But I don't mind, I didn't want to force it too much, just something to keep track of. Which mons would you change to meet these last 3 types? Let me know. And that's it. Those are my predictions of sorts for all 8 future generations of Let's Go games. Let me say, I can't wait to be slowly and methodically proven completely correct over the next 20 years. For the record, my personal favorites amongst these are Let's Go Spheal, Let's Go Darumaka, and Let's Go Smoliv. But what did you think? Did I rob any Pokemon of their chance at being on a game's cover art? Let me know, and if you enjoyed, liking and subscribing helps a lot. As always, I'm Slam Gaming, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.